way. At the time, I didn't, because you got to understand, like at the time, you see people getting signed and, everybody's flexing, a lot of that flashy label stuff. You feel like they're ahead of you. But then what ends up happening is that as time goes on and the record business starts to crumble and the traditional music industry as we knew it before starts to crumble, a lot of those artists that had deals are not prepared for that. And they're not doing well in today's current state. Whereas the artists who were always independent, I call it, today's artist is basically the lemonade stand. Like every artist has got their own little lemonade stand where they sell their lemonade. And your lemonade is your music, your merch, your T-shirts, your shows, your social media experience, like the whole package of being an artist. And before, there was always like this wall in between artists that were signed and artists that were not signed. And that wall has been shattered. Definitely. So now it's more just a matter of how well does this artist operate their lemonade stand. So with that said, with a lot of artists struggling to adapt to this new music business, this is all I've ever known. So, it's like, bro, this is a normal day for me. Like, yeah, I got to get up and mail these CDs and answer all these Instagram comments and, send 5 more emails to DJs. And, I'm just, that's how it always was. So at the time, I didn't feel like I was ahead of the game. But in hindsight, I guess
you definitely
I was.
Now, let me ask you, so it goes to my next question. And we was talking about it briefly before.
Right.
You have certain indie artists who have good numbers, high numbers, or what have you, and they kind of feel like, they have high streaming numbers, but they're not seeing the money that they need, that they think they should see financially.
Well, the streaming thing is a very complicated issue, and I will be honest, like when streaming first came onto our consciousness, I had the same opinion that a lot of artists do. I'm like, well, they're ripping us off. They're not paying us enough. I got caught up in the complaining about it. Now, what's basically happened is we got to understand one thing, is that the wants of the consumer are always going to win out over the needs of the content creators.
Facts.
Because, in the same way that most people would rather pay $9.99 a month for Netflix and watch whatever they want to watch as many times as they want to watch it, instead of having to cop every movie or show that they want to watch. Music fans feel the same way about streaming. I would rather pay $9.99 a month and be able to listen to everything. So I'm saying that to say that because streaming is not going away, I took the attitude of, do I want to complain about this or do I want to figure out how to make it work for me? So with that said, the key thing to remember about streaming is that it's not so much a money maker as it's a fan builder. Now, I reject the notion that streaming doesn't pay at all because, I'm currently making $400 to $500 a month off streaming. Now that's for my whole catalog, but that's money I can pay a bill with. Like that's not buy a house money, but that's money that I can pay a bill with.
Something coming in.
So now the thing is a lot of people's bad streaming deals are subject to the terms of the record deal that they're under. Because if you have a 15% artist deal, guess what? Yeah, that streaming money is going to be nothing. But I'm saying this to say is that the same way that like back in the day, you know how back in the day they used to say artists didn't make money off CD sales? They made money from touring and merchandise and all that. That same blueprint pretty much exists in the streaming world, whereas the streaming is a fan builder. And once you've built those fans, then it's up to you to sell them a T-shirt or a physical CD or a vinyl or tickets to your show, or if they rap too, they want to get a feature verse from you, or find some other way to monetize it. Because here's the thing, streaming is able to do for an artist something that no record label, no manager, no PR agent, nobody else can do. And that is algorithmically insert your music into the news feed of people who have similar listening tastes. So like when I'm on my Spotify, right? Your phone is spying on you all the time. Like we know this. So my Spotify is taking data of what songs I listen to, what songs I skip, what songs I play over and over, the other artists I like, and it basically steals all that data from you to get a really close notion of what you like to listen to. And I was skeptical at first because I was like, why am I going to put this on shuffle? Like, I'm a man who knows music. I know what's hot, you know. But every time I hit shuffle, whatever it plays, I like. And that's because it's collected so much data on what I listen to. So I'm saying all that to say that streaming is able to do that for the independent artist, meaning that now it's not going to happen overnight, because what a lot of people don't necessarily realize is that the streaming monster feeds on content.
That's a fact.
So if you're dropping a single once a month, it's going to show you more favoritism than an artist who drops something once every 3 years.
Yes.
Because they're like, oh, they're giving us content. We're going to show this music to other people who might have similar tastes. And that's PR and promo that, like, trust me, in 15 years of doing this professionally, like, I've hired a bunch of different PR people, and none of them can algorithmically insert my music into, people who listen to music similar to Jake Palumbo. So, my most recent record, Plant-Based Libtard, is performing better at streaming than a lot of my previous projects, and that's because we took time to set it up, meaning that, every 4 weeks prior to the record coming out, there was a new single dropping, like, we're reappearing inside the algorithm again.
Copy.
And so, we're getting close to 500,000 spins on Spotify alone in 5 months.
That's dope.
And whereas like 3 years ago, that probably would have been about 40 or 50,000 in 5 months.